Um, I'm gonna start with the bacillus bacteria. It has a lot of first. It has seen a lot of first because it was the first pathogen bacteria to be observed under microscope. First pathogen to be seen under the microscope. So little diagrammatic representation of the microscope. I don't know if I'm right, but this is about it. So, first pathogen to be seen under the microscope, it was the first communicable disease shown to be transmitted by inoculation of infected blood, like from an infected person, blood was taken, then it was given to another person, and he got the disease. So it was the first communicable disease shown to be transmitted by inoculation of the infected blood. Now the first bacillus to be isolated in pure culture. First bacillus. Keyword is to remember the first bacillus to be isolated in pure culture. And the first bacterium uh, used for the preparation of the attenuated vaccine. So attenuated vaccine. Okay. So if it is seen under the microscope, it will appear as bamboo stick with a spore formation like this, and sporulation basically is inhibited by calcium chloride. And there's a reaction called McFadden reaction. McFadden reaction. It is because of the capsule, so it's for diagnosis. For diagnosis purposes. This test is done. Medusa head appearance and inverted fir tree. These are the cultural characteristics. Like in a culture, you'll see you'll see Medusa head, and you'll see in a tube if you inoculate, you'll see the inverted fir tree. So these are the culture characteristics of Bacillus anthracis. Now strings on the pearl on the culture, it appears as like strings of pearl. It appears like a pearl, and this is known as strings of pearl reactions susceptible to anthracis to gamma phage. Gamma phage of the virus. To help differentiate and to be serious. B series is then converted to B anthracis with the help of gamma phage and aerobic. Bacillus is actually, I think, anaerobic. They're supposed to be anaerobes. Bacteroids are supposed to be anaerobes. Okay, okay, fine. There's one more thing I wanna talk about is schools Charlton reaction. So what happens in this is like suppose there is of an infected person, there's erythematous rash. Erythematous rash is there. A lot of rash is there. Now, if you inject the loop, if you give injection of convalescent carrier, there's a serum. If you give injection of the convalescent serum carrier, it will blanch. Like it will blanch. So that shows school's Charlton reaction, and that is actually a diagnostic test for scarlet fever. It has nothing to do with the bacillus, it's actually caused by streptococcus. And there's one more thing I wanted to discuss was dances phenomena and Eldritch phenomena. Eldritch phenomena. It is better demonstrated here somewhere. Uh, Eldritch phenomena is difference between the amount of toxin that will exactly neutralize 1 unit of antitoxin, that which when added to the unit of antitoxin will leave 1 lethal dose of the toxin. 1 lethal dose of toxin and is greater than 1 lethal. That is, it is necessary to mix one more than 1 lethal unit of toxin to a neutral mixture of the toxin and antitoxin to make the mixture lethal again. So more than 1 unit. Dances phenomena is the reduction of the neutralizing effect of antitoxin when toxin is added to it divided doses. It in divided doses rather than adding the whole amount. So if you like add the antitoxin in divided doses, it will reduce, it will neutralize the effects of the antitoxin. Sorry, when toxin are added. And as it's known as, if you add more than 1 unit of the lethal dose, it will make the mixture lethal again. So basically, Eldritch and Dances phenomena. So in the book, it is mentioned that it is due to the ability of toxin and antitoxin to combine in varying proportion. So that is it, Eldritch phenomena and Dances phenomena. And these are the pearls of string I was mentioning. These are immunization, pasture anthrax, Turner, Mazuki, and anthrax vaccine absorbed for human use. Okay. Now, you know what duckering is? Duckering is the destruction of the spores in animal products. So, um, animals are supposed to be carriers of these bacillus. So, destruction of the spores and animal products imported into non-endemic countries, like countries where anthrax is not at all prevalent, their duckering is to be done in which the formaldehyde is used. So, formaldehyde is used for disinfection of the wool, which is known as duckering. And and this is duckering for animal products, but disease like the people who carry loads of animal skin on their bare back, they get diseases. They get diseased with this bacilli. Then there it is known as hide potters disease because there are a lot of workers like they carry everything on their bare back the animal skin, like they'll carry the animal skin on their bare back. So no, they get the hide waters disease, pulmonary anthrax. So pulmonary anthrax is definitely because of the inhalation, and it is known as wool sorters, because wool is also an animal product. When they're sorting the wool, it gets inhaled by the workers, and then it is known as wool sorters disease. It's actually very literal, very literal. Hide is actually the skin. The skin is known as hide. The lesion of the anthrax actually start with a papule. Papule is little elevated. So disease will start with a papule with um, like several satellite lesion filled with serum, and this is known as malignant, because these are the satellites of this broke off somewhere and formed another uh, papule like lesion. So these are known as satellite. Also, like Ascaris, thermoprecipitin test. It's a ring precipitation test, and it is used for demonstration of ring precipitation test. Anthrax antigen in a tissue extract. Also, like Ascaris thermoprecipitin test is used for this thing. Uh, it's a kind of obviously um, a ring test, but Lansfield, there was a guy named Lansfield. He did experiments. He did the ring test to group strep strep को group करने के लिए Lansfield conducted this ring test. It's a very simple test, and as called as this also he conducted. It's a ring test basically. So yeah, now vaccines. Vaccines for anthrax, bacillus. Vaccines are a partial vaccine, Pasha's vaccine, and there's Tony vaccine. So, and Pasha's vaccine is attenuated virus, obviously, because sorry, attenuated bacteria, because it has to be attenuated. Is not killed. It is basically decreasing the antigenicity or incapacitating the bacteria. So it's not killed, but like it contains spores. It's the only vaccine, and a non-capsulated avirulent mutant strain. It's non-capsulated. Capsules are obviously present in the anthrax. That's why McFadden reaction occurs, which is a diagnostic test. You know, McFadden reaction for diagnosis. So it's non-capsulated. Capsules are removed, and it is avirulent. Like virulence is also removed. And the other is Mazuki. Mazuki vaccine, which is a spore stable attenuated Carbazo strain is there. It's a one strain name, which is 2% saponin. B. series causes food poisoning also. B. series, which is converted to bacillus anthracis with the gamma phage and produces pearl-like strings, pearl on the strings that causes food poisoning. Basically, food poisoning. B. series. Carbazo strain 2% saponin. Suppose no. This, there was more. There was more. There was pasture, Sterling Mizuki, and there was the anthrax vaccine absorbed EBA vaccine for human use. Stupid. Okay, fine. It's of great historical importance. It was Pasteur's convincing demonstration of the protective effects of its anthrax vaccine. It was attenuated, no? Non-capsulin avirulent mutant strain. This was also used for human, but not anymore. Mizuki's attenuated Carbazo strain and 2% saponin. So that happens. Attenuated. Yeah, that is all bacillus.